Today we're going to show you how to take a company logo and make a parody of it. In other words, make fun of it or make some kind of joke about it. Here we took FedEx and a student made this. They changed it to FedMex. And so I'm going to show how to break it down, how they actually did this. So when you look at the original logo, you need to figure out what part of it do I want to change. So here where it says EX, that's where we want to change it. So let's go to the finished product and let's take apart how they did it. So let's move the letters out of the way. And what you discover is they just took this gray box here and they used that to cover it up, the EX, and then they put the letters in its place. So we'll go over how do you make a box which matches the background color, and we'll also show you how to make these letters. These other parts here you can see are also movable. So it's pretty easy to do, you just need to figure out what part of the picture you need to change. First thing I notice is in the words FedEx, there's a really nice letter X at the end. And I want to use that on my logo for FedMex. So to get the letter X, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on the picture. I'm going to press Command C and then Command V, and that'll make a copy of the picture. Now all I want is this letter X right here. So to cut that out, I'm going to go up to my Shapes tool, and at the very bottom there's a pen. So all I'm going to do is just trace around the letter X here. So I'll click there, and then I'll click down here, and I'm just going to go all the way around the letter X. Okay, that will create a box around it. Now what I want to do is highlight this box and the picture around it. In order to do that, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and then click on the picture, and that'll give me some more dots around the edge of the picture. And then all I do is go up here to Format, Mask with Selected Shape, and that will cut out the letter X, and I just click on this Edit Mask button to turn off the rest of the picture. And now I have a letter X. So I'm going to use this later on when I put it on top. The next thing I want to do is cover up the letters EX at the end. And to do that, I'm going to put a box over it. So I'll go up here to my Shapes, get my nice box, and I'll just put it right here and stretch it out so all the red letters are covered. Okay, now the problem with this is it looks like a blue box. And what I want is a box that's kind of invisible, and to do that I'm going to have to match it with the color of the white area over here. So to do that, what you do is you click on the Graphic tab here at the top, and you notice that this blue box, which you've seen a lot of times, is actually an image. We want to change that to a color fill, and then once we do that, click on this box here, and it's going to pull up some colors. So if I go around here, I can change the color of it. So the mistake a lot of people make here is they're like, oh, it looks like it's white. And then they'll click on white, but you'll notice that the truck really isn't white. It's kind of a gray color. So to get the actual real color, if you look over here, there's this magnifying glass. And what that does, it kind of steals the color from whatever you click on it. So I'll take this magnifying glass, and if I hold it over the purple letters, it'll change my box to purple. If I click on the magnifying glass and hold it over this, it changes the box to yellow. So in this case, I want to click on the truck, so I'll hold it over this whitish gray part of the truck, and now my box is the same color as the truck. All I have left is to get off the line around the outside. If I click on this box up here called Stroke and change it to None, None will take off the line, and now you can see that that blends in pretty well, and this you now have a gray box which covers up the letters. I'm going to move my letter X down here onto the truck, and I'm going to bring it to the front, and then I just need to add the letters M and E. So this is where it gets kind of tricky. So sometimes people will draw their own letters, so you can use the tool here, and I could go through here and make my own letter M if you can do that. And then you would just fill it in with a color, and you're probably thinking that doesn't really look very good. So another trick is to add an actual letter and just try to get the right font or the style of the letter so it fits in with the FedEx logo. So I went ahead and looked through my fonts, and I looked through all these different styles of fonts, and I finally found two letters for M and E that looked similar. So I found an E that's similar to the E in FedEx. And then all I have to do is highlight them and change them to the same color. So I'll go down here, I'll use my magnifying trick and do that for the M, highlight the E, use the magnifier, click on the red. And so now I have the colors matched. Now here's where it gets tricky. When I put the M in here, I'm like, well, this isn't tall enough, so I highlight it and I choose a bigger number. But the problem I get is that the letters, while the letter is now high enough, it's too wide, and there's no way to take this and make it any thinner. It won't actually make the letter thinner. So the only way I know to make it thinner is to do that with a picture of the letter. Okay, so to take a picture, Shift-Command-4, and on my letter E, Shift-Command-4. Okay, so those two pictures are over here on the side. I'm just going to drag them back over in here. And now the next thing you're going to discover is, okay, it's a picture now. If I stretch it, it stretches it like that, but now I'm trying to make it thinner, and you know what? It still isn't making it thinner. So here's what you need to do to make a picture thinner. You go over here, and you click on the ruler, and you're going to see this check mark. And the check mark says Constrain Proportions. So you have to take off the check mark. Then I'm going to go over here on the side. Now I can make my letters thinner. Okay, so I'm going to take these, highlight them. I'm going to copy them, Command-C. And then over on my truck picture, I'll do Command-V and paste them over here. Next step, obviously, is I'll have to use my alpha tool, and I'll take off the white part of this. So I'll click on the picture, alpha tool, take off the white part. Same thing here. So now I'm moving the letters into place, so I put my letter M there, and since the check mark's off, now I can stretch it any kind of way that I want. And then I'll take my letter E and put that over here, and again I can stretch this. Now in this case I forgot to take off the check mark, so go over here to the ruler, take off the check mark, and then I can stretch it, make it a little thinner like that. And then I want to keep some space there. Okay, so I now have my letters in place, so all I have to do is add the other things. So I'm going to add a sombrero. I got the stripe off here, and then I'm going to add the flag. When I go to add my flag, you notice that I'm going to have the same problem I had with my letter M, which is that I want to stretch it all the way over here, but when I pull on it, it just keeps getting bigger. So even if I grab the side, it won't stretch to the right. So in order to fix that, I'm going to go over here under the ruler and take off the check mark, and now I can stretch this over. Now depending on what you're trying to do, there's different tricks you can do here. For example, you might want to lower the opacity. To do that, you click on the graphic, and then at the bottom is opacity. So you might want an image to blend in with the truck to make it kind of look like it's actually part of the vehicle. So here you can see actually the parts of the truck if you lower the opacity a little bit. So that's another trick that you can use. I hope that gave you some ideas on how to use Keynote to make a parody design. In the other video, I will show you how to use Photoshop to make a parody design.